Thank you, Chair Scott and Ranking Member Gillibrand, for organizing this meeting, or this hearing, I should say. 9 months ago in this committee, I warned that seniors in Georgia could see a $20,000 annual increase in healthcare premiums should congressional Republicans let enhanced affordable care tax credits expire. And here we are, just over a week before the start of open enrollment, and we're in an even worse place than we were 9 months ago. Mr. Cuban, most Americans probably know you as an investor in startups and innovative small businesses. I'm a fan of Shark Tank.
Thanks.
In that role and as an entrepreneur yourself, is it fair to say that you know a little bit about how small business owners and entrepreneurs think about their money and startup expenses?
I would say so, yes.
And would you say that among those considerations and expenses, that includes their healthcare expenses?
Yes.
And how their healthcare costs factor into their plans for growth and sustainability?
Yes, sir.
So let me show you something. These are this is the cost of the premium for a senior, 2025. This person is 62 years old, small business owner in Georgia, taking home just $65,000 in 2025. The other side shows the cheapest option for that same Georgian, so $228.17 a month. Now, with the expiration of these tax premiums, $1,142.71. That's quite a jump. How would this monthly jump affect that Georgian's ability to grow her small business or even just make ends meet?
It makes her make a lot of hard choices, either to try to find the money to pay for the premiums or to go without insurance. And I think the greatest challenge has been in all of this is that small business owners, Americans that are on the ACA, haven't had enough time to plan for it. It's one thing to know that your premiums are going up. It's another thing not to know how much and how soon, right? And so now we're just, in Texas, people are just now starting to see open enrollment, and more we'll see in a couple weeks. And as a small business looking to the ACA for their employees, it's going to be terrifying for them.
And if they forego insurance, is it fair to say that would drive up premiums for everybody?
Yeah, of course, because healthy people are going to be most likely not to take insurance.
Right. And this gut punch for small businesses impacts the overall economy because small businesses are such a big part of our economy.
Well, of course, there are 33 million companies in this country, 30 million of them are solopreneurs, one-person entrepreneurs, companies. And if you're taking $800, give or take, a month out of their pocketbooks, they can't invest it in inventory, et cetera, et cetera. So it makes it much more difficult to run your company.
Yeah. I would imagine that come November 1st, more of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle will start hearing from folks in their own states who won't be able to afford their health care next year. In fact, millions of people across the country are starting to log on today to see their plan premiums for next year double. And that's not the exception. Like, that's quite prevalent. People are seeing their premiums double, as you see here, triple, quadruple, all because my friends on the other side of the aisle refuse to fund the government and fund health care. Dr. Lambrou, why are older Americans especially harmed by the expiring premium tax credits?
Well, in addition to there being more of them in the marketplace than would be in the general population, we also know that older people have greater healthcare needs. So when we look at the average healthcare costs for a 55 to 64-year-old, it is 3 times the average healthcare costs of an 18 to 24-year-old. So their needs are greater. That also means that when these price increases hit them, it will probably force those harder choices. Again, do I follow the advice of my doctor? Do I take a medication as needed or skip pills or forgo them? Do I choose between my retirement savings, my groceries? There was a woman from Georgia who's 57-year-old said, this amount may not seem much to the government or to the insurance companies, but for me, it would most likely mean sacrificing essentials, groceries, gas, basic necessities that I rely on.
Given that reality, do you think it's a good idea for Congress to wait until December 31st to address prices?
I do not. People are shopping in Idaho already. They're looking in 12 or 13 states at the actual prices they're going to pay. And a week from Saturday, they're going to go in. And we know from last year's experience, 3 million people came in the first 2 weeks. And if they come in and their prices are going to be much higher than they expect, they may never come back.
Thank you so much. This is a crisis. It needs to be addressed right now. And I would urge my colleagues to join us in funding the government and extending these health care premiums for the health care of millions of Americans. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Moody.